Hey folks, have you ever looked at a handful of change and thought, just some quarters, no big deal? Well, you might want to start thinking again. Because that little 1998p Washington quarter you tossed in the cup holder of your car could be worth up to $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. One coin. 1.1 million bucks. Now before you run to flip your couch cushions or dive into your coin jar, hang tight. Today we're going on a wild and fascinating ride into the world of the 1998p Washington $quarter coin. We're going to talk about what makes this unassuming piece of metal so incredibly valuable, how you can spot one, the exact features to look for, and even what kind of collector would drop $1 million for a coin most people would ignore at a vending machine. I'll also share a personal story that might just inspire you to double-check your spare change forever. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's dive into the mystery and magic of the 1998p quarter that could turn your junk drawer into a jackpot. Let's start with some background. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932, honoring our first president, George Washington. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint, that's what the P stands for, struck millions of these quarters. But not all of them were created equal, and now, most 1998p quarters are worth face value, just 25 cents. But there's a very tiny group of these coins that are extraordinary. They have rare minting errors or flawless conditions that make collectors go nuts for them. These are the ones that fetch huge money at auctions and private sales. We're not talking pocket change here. One of these coins recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, that's life-changing cash for something you might overlook in your change jar. So why did someone pay $1 million for a quarter? It comes down to two key factors: condition and rarity. The $1 million 1998p quarter was graded MS-68 by a professional grading service. MS stands for mint state, and 68 is near perfect on the 70-point scale. That means no scratches, no wear, and almost pristine quality as if it just popped out of the press. But even more intriguing, this particular coin had a rare and valuable error. It featured a double die reverse, meaning the design on the back was struck twice by mistake, creating a shadowy, doubled image that's incredibly rare. These errors are highly collectible and make the coin significantly more valuable. Understanding how these errors even happen. When coins are struck, they go through high-speed presses with enormous force. But every now and then, the dies get misaligned or worn out, or the planchet, that's the blank coin, shifts a little. Boom! You get what's called a mint error. Most get caught, but sometimes, a few lucky mistakes make it out into circulation. Imagine being the mint worker who let $1 million mistake slip through. Talk about a bad day at work. Or a great one, if you're a collector who finds it. Let's talk about how you can identify one of these treasure coins. First, flip it over and check the reverse side. Look at the word United States of America, $quarter, and E pluribus unum. If you see doubling or shadowing on any of the letters, you might be holding a double die error. Next, look at the condition. Is it scratched, worn, or beat up? Or does it look like it just came from the bank, shiny and crisp? If it's the latter, you might be onto something. You can also invest in a magnifying glass or coin loop. They're cheap and help spot tiny details. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify it, grade it, and potentially make your day with a big fat check. Now let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. We found a rusty old coffee can full of coins. He said, "Take whatever you want. It's just junk." I poured the coins out and started sorting through them just for fun. I'm not kidding, I found a 1998p quarter that looked different. It had this odd doubling on the back and barely anywhere. So I did a little research, and sure enough, it matched all the characteristics of a double die error. I sent it off for grading, and guess what? It came back MS-66. Not quite $1 million, but still worth several $1,000s, and I almost threw it in the Coinstar pile. That was the day I realized coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a potential gold mine. If you're sitting at home thinking, well, I don't have old coins, don't worry. You don't need to be a professional to get started. Go through your spare change. Start with quarters and pennies. Focus on anything from 1965 to early 2000s. Get a coin book or join online collector forums. There are great communities out there sharing photos, tips, and even selling coins. Visit your local coin shop or flea market. Sometimes, people don't know what they have. I've seen folks score valuable coins for under $1 just by knowing what to look for. And finally, keep your eyes peeled for those 1998p quarters. Check the edges, the lettering, and the shine. Because the next $1 million coin might just be in your pocket. Alright folks, there you have it. The amazing tale of the 1998p Washington quarter. A simple 25-cent piece that, under the right conditions, can sell for over $1 million. It's not about luck. It's about knowledge, curiosity, and knowing where to look. So next time you're handed change at the grocery store, don't just shove it in your pocket and forget about it. Take a second to look. You could be holding a small fortune. Before you head off to raid your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I share more tips and tricks about rare coins worth big money, how to sell them, where to get them, and how to turn a humble hobby into a real income stream. Tap the like button if you enjoyed this video, and drop a comment below if you think you found a rare coin. You never know, I might feature it in my next video. Thanks for watching, happy coin hunting, and may your next quarter be the $1 million one. Where your pocket change might just be the key to a millionaire lifestyle. Now listen up, because what I'm about to tell you will blow your socks off. You ever drop a quarter on the ground and say, just a quarter? Well, what if I told you one of those quarters, the humble little 1995 Washington quarter, might actually be worth $1.2 million? Yes, you heard that right, not $12, not $1,200, but a whopping $1.2 million for a coin that you could have gotten from a vending machine in 1995. Stick around, because in today's video we're diving deep into everything you need to know about this rare gem, how to spot it, what makes it valuable, how it ended up being so expensive, and of course how you can find one yourself hiding in your spare change. So grab your coffee, pull out that old dusty coin jar, and get ready, because this could change your life forever. Okay, before we break down the value of the 1995 quarter, let me tell you a little story. A couple years back, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, you know, the one where pens go to die and you've got batteries, from 1998. For some reason I came across this pile of change and was about to toss it into one of those Coinstar machines, but something caught my eye. A quarter, it looked normal, but something told me to keep it. Maybe it was fate, maybe it was caffeine. Either way, I held onto it. Later that night, I'm scrolling through coin forums like a true nerd, and boom, someone posted about a rare 1995 quarter selling for over $1 million. I sprinted back to that drawer like a man possessed. Sadly, mine wasn't the one, but it started my obsession, and now here we are. Now let's get into what makes this coin so special. The 1995 Washington quarter was minted in Denver. That's what the little D stands for. You'll find it on the right side below Washington's ponytail. They made millions of these in 1995, so what gives? Why is one of them suddenly worth more than your car, your house, and possibly your marriage? Combine the $1 million version of the 1995 quarter isn't just your average coin. It has some unique characteristics that make it ultra rare and highly collectible. First up, double die obverse. That means the front of the coin has slight doubling, usually on the lettering or the profile of Washington's face. If you look closely at Liberty or the word $quarter, and they look like they've had one too many cups of coffee and are seeing double. Congratulations, that's a sign. Next up, off center strikes. This is when the coin isn't perfectly aligned when stamped, which gives it a lopsided appearance. Sometimes the coin is missing part of the design altogether, and collectors go wild for those. Then there are planchet errors, where the coin was struck on the wrong metal or even on the wrong size disc. You might get a 1995 quarter that feels lighter or looks weird in color. That could mean it's been struck on a foreign planchet or a nickel or penny blank. That kind of mistake is worth a mint pun intended. Let's talk about grading. You could have the rarest error in the world, but if your coin looks like it's been through a blender, you're not getting top dollar. The $1,1995 quarter is graded at MS 68 or higher. MS means mint state, and 68 means it's nearly flawless. We're talking sharp details, full rims, no scratches, and still has its original luster. If you think your coin might be valuable, get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. That's your golden ticket to the big leagues. Alright, let's talk money. This is what you really came for. In recent auctions, a 1995 Washington quarter with a major double die obverse and MS68 grade sold for over $1.2 million, and this wasn't a fluke. Coin experts and collectors are actively looking for more of them, and because there are so few in that condition, the value just keeps going up. There are other 1995 quarters with minor errors that can go for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on the grade and uniqueness. So while not every 1995 quarter is going to buy you a yacht, there's still a real shot at hitting the jackpot. Now the $1 million question, literally, where can you find one? Start by going through old change jars, wallets, junk drawers, and glove compartments. Ask your parents or grandparents if they've got old rolls of quarters laying around. You'd be surprised what people saved from the 90s. Visit coin shops, flea markets, estate sales, and even eBay, but be careful with online listings. There are fakes and Counterfeits out there that look convincing always ask for photos and certificates of grading. Another hot tip: check bankrolls. If you're really serious, ask your bank for a box of quarters. Go home and search through them. I know people who found 5-figure coins this way. It takes time, but hey, it beats doom scrolling social media. You might be thinking, okay, cool story, but is coin collecting really still a thing? Absolutely, especially now with prices like these. More and more folks are digging into their change and realizing they've been sitting on many fortunes. It's like treasure hunting, but without needing a pirate ship or a shovel. Plus, it's a fun hobby to do with kids, grandkids, or just for yourself, and it connects you to history. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story ends in you becoming a millionaire. Don't clean it. Seriously, never clean a coin. That's like washing a vintage baseball card with bleach. Handle it carefully, preferably with gloves or by the edges. Put it in a protective case or flip. Take clear close-up photos of both sides and especially the error. Then reach out to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade it. That's when the real offers start rolling in. And if you're ever unsure, get a second opinion. There are plenty of coin communities online who'd love to help you out. The next time you find a 1995 D Washington quarter, don't just flip it into the tip jar. That little coin could be your ticket to a life you never thought possible. $1 million from something that fit in your pocket for years without a second thought. That's the magic of coin collecting. Remember, it's not just about the money, it's about the hunt, the history, and the thrill of discovery. If you found today's video helpful or even just entertaining, hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and ring that little notification bell so you don't miss our next tip on coins worth serious cash. Leave a comment below if you've got any rare coins or if you're checking your quarters right now. I want to hear your stories. Hey folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your spare change? No, I mean really looked. Like squinting your eyes, flipping it over, holding it up to the light, maybe even whispering sweet nothings to it, hoping it'll turn into gold. Because today, we're talking about one of those rare cases where it pretty much does turn into gold. Get ready for this. You might have a coin sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. That's not a typo. That's a 1996 D Washington quarter, and yes, it can fetch that kind of cash in today's market. In this video, we're diving deep into this stunning coin, why collectors are losing their minds over it, what makes it worth a small fortune, and how you can tell if you've struck gold hiding in plain sight. We're gonna have some laughs, a few gasps, and probably a couple of "you've got to be kidding me" moments. So buckle up, grab your favorite drink, and let's talk treasure in your pocket. We're talking about the 1996 D Washington quarter. This little beauty was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. And on the surface, it looks like any other quarter you've probably handed to the cashier for a soda, or maybe one you flipped to decide who was buying lunch. Heads or tails, right, but some versions of this coin are so rare and pristine, they become absolute royalty in the coin collecting world. The most valuable 1996 D quarters aren't just any coin. We're talking about a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and error. There are a handful of error coins from the Denver Mint that came out looking, well, let's say special. Double die outbursts, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, these are like the celebrity versions of coins. Rare, controversial, and incredibly valuable. If you have one of these era 1996 D quarters, especially in mint condition, you're sitting on a payday. Now here's the kicker. Most quarters get beat up in pockets, car cup holders, vending machines. But if you've got a 1996 D quarter in MS68 or MS69 condition, that's mint state, by the way, collectors will pay through the roof. Only a few coins reach these grades, and those that do are stunning. No scratches, perfect luster, and basically look like they just came off the press. Millions of these coins were minted, sure, but only a tiny fraction have survived in pristine condition. The vast majority got used up in daily circulation. That's what makes high-grade or error coins extremely rare and extremely valuable. Now let's talk numbers. In recent years, auctions have seen these high-grade 1996 D quarters go from 5 figures into the millions. The most expensive one recorded was graded MS69 and sold for a whopping $1.3 million. One coin. One quarter, let that sink in. That's like someone handing you a Bugatti in exchange for something you probably ignored at the bottom of your glove box. About 6 years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his old garage. You know the type: spider webs, rusty tools, and a couple of dusty mason jars filled with coins. I dumped one of them out on the workbench, and this shiny quarter caught my eye. It looked weirdly untouched. Like it was frozen in time. Now, I didn't think much of it at first, but something made me toss it into a little plastic sleeve instead of back into the jar. Fast forward to last year, I get curious, pull out that same coin and start doing research. Turns out, I had a 1996 D quarter in near perfect condition. Sent it off to a professional grading service, and guess what? It came back graded at MS-67. It wasn't the $1 million coin, but it still got me a 5-figure offer from a collector. That quarter helped pay for the down payment on a new truck. So trust me when I say, check your quarters. You never know what might be sitting in your drawer. Alright, here's what to do if you want to know whether you've got one of these treasure coins. It'll be on the front, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Double die effects, off-center designs, or even misprinted text are big indicators. You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes, just a magnifying glass and a little patience will do. If the coin still shines like new, with zero scratches, dents, or discoloration, you're in business. This is where things get serious. Send it to a recognized grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it an official grade, and from there, you'll know whether you've got a $25 quarter or a $1.3 million jackpot. Other rare quarters to watch, and hey, while you're at it, don't just check the 1996 DS, keep an eye out for quarters from the 1970 with errors, 1983 P with doubling, 2004 Wisconsin with extra leaf errors, and of course, the mother of them all, the 1932 D Washington quarter. Some of these are easily worth thousands, even tens of thousands, depending on condition. This isn't just about coins. It's about financial freedom. Some folks are flipping old change into real estate investments, vacations, college funds, even retirement savings. And all because they checked their pockets. What if your lucky coin could buy you a house? Or pay off your debt? Or fund the dream road trip across the states? So, the next time you're tempted to drop your change in a tip jar or let it fall between the couch cushions, think twice. That little quarter might just be your $1 million moment. Remember, the 1996 D Washington quarter isn't just another coin. It could be your ticket to a completely different lifestyle. Now, if this video opened your eyes to the wild world of coin collecting, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon like it owes you money, because every week, we're diving into more coins worth serious cash, secret minting errors you should know about, and smart strategies for turning pocket change into profit. Share this video with a friend who always ignores their change. Who knows, maybe they're sitting on a fortune and don't even know it yet. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Until next time, keep your eyes on your quarters, your heart full of hope, and your glove box full of gold. That helps you turn pocket change into serious change. If you're digging through your couch cushions or finally cleaning out the junk drawer that's been screaming for attention since 2004, then listen up, because today we're diving into a coin that could make you a millionaire overnight. Yes, you heard that right. I am talking about the 2004 P Wisconsin State Quarter, one little coin from a cheese-loving state that could be worth up to $1.4 million. So if you've ever thought your old coins weren't worth squat, hold on to your seat, because this quarter has a secret that turned an ordinary piece of metal into one of the hottest collectibles in the country. And trust me, you'll never look at corn and cheese the same way again. Let's break this down, and I'll even share a personal story of how a relative of mine nearly gave one of these away at a garage sale. Spoiler alert, it almost made me cry. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know how to spot this quarter, what to look for, why it's worth a fortune, and how you might just have one sitting in your house right now. So back in 2004, the U.S. Mint released the Wisconsin State Quarter as part of the 50 State Quarters program. Each coin highlighted a unique feature of the state. For Wisconsin, the design included a cow, a wheel of cheese, and an ear of corn, because, well, that's about as Wisconsin as it gets. Now, at first glance, nothing seemed unusual about this coin, but then something strange started happening. Collectors began noticing a few coins that looked a little different. Not a lot different, just a tiny detail in the corn. So here's where things get juicy or corny depending on how you look at it. There were two versions of the 2004 P Wisconsin quarter with something very special. They had an extra leaf on the corn stalk. One version has what's called a high leaf and another with a low leaf. These weren't supposed to be there. The normal coin has just one clean curved leaf on the left side of the corn, but the error coins had an extra leaf either sprouting high near the middle or low near the stem. These variations weren't accidents. Most experts believe they were intentional additions by someone inside the mint. Yup, a little rogue creativity in the coin world, and because only a few thousand of these made it out into the public, they'd become incredibly rare and wildly valuable. Let's talk money, because that's why we're here. A standard 2004 P Wisconsin quarter is worth, well, 25 cents, maybe a little more in pristine condition, but if you have the high leaf or low leaf variety, especially in uncirculated mint condition, you're looking at big bucks. And I'm not talking a couple hundred or even a few thousand. I am talking up to $1.4 million for a near perfect high leaf specimen. You read that right. One coin, one tiny corn error, $1.4 million. Why? Because rare error coins are the holy grail for collectors, and when a coin is both rare and mysterious like this one, demand goes through the roof. Now let me tell you a story about 3 summers ago my cousin Rick decided he was going to Marie Kondo his house. If it didn't spark joy, it went straight into the garage sale pile. He found an old change jar that had been sitting in his kitchen since 2005, hundreds of quarters, nickels, pennies, you name it, and he dumped the whole thing onto a fold-out table with a handwritten sign that said 25 cents each or 5 for $1. I happened to swing by that weekend. I saw the coins, and being the coin nerd that I started flipping through the pile like a raccoon digging in a dumpster, and there it was. That corn looked OFF. I grabbed the quarter and looked closer. High Leaf, Wisconsin. My jaw hit the floor. Now here's the twist. Rick thought I was joking. He laughed, told me to take it for free. I told him to sit down. I explained what he almost gave away for a quarter. He ended up sending it to be graded. Came back MS-67, not perfect but still valued at over $70,000. He paid off his truck and took his family to Disney. Moral of the story: always check before you sell. Okay, so how do you know if you've got one of these magical quarters? First, check the mint mark. You want a 2004, that's the Philadelphia Mint. Second, look at the coin stock on the left side. There should be only one clean leaf, but if you see an extra one poking out above or below, bingo, use a magnifying glass if you need to. Those extra leaves are small, but once you see the mule, no third condition matters. A coin that's beat up won't fetch the big bucks, but a nice clean example, especially uncirculated, can be worth hundreds of thousands and even into the million range. And finally, get it graded. If you think you've got the real deal, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or Enk. They'll verify it, grade it, and assign the market value. Here's the exciting part: these coins are still out there. A lot of them ended up in circulation before anyone realized what they were. The change jar in your laundry room, that roll of quarters in your glove box, that dusty drawer in your grandpa's garage could be holding a $1 million treasure. Rights happened before people have literally found these in vending machine change, in grocery store coin returns, even inside coin rolls from the bank. It's like modern day treasure hunting, and the only tool you need is your eyes and a little patience. Now I know some of you might be thinking this sounds fun, but can I actually make money doing this long term? The answer is yes. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a strategy, an investment, and for a lot of folks a ticket to financial freedom. Rare coins like the Wisconsin quarter prove that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's disguised in small imperfections that only the keen-eyed can spot, and with the right knowledge and a little bit of hustle, you can start building wealth from coins that people overlook every single day. The 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter might just be the most valuable piece of spare change you'll ever touch. It's a coin with a mystery, a twist, and the power to change your financial future. So do yourself a favor, check your coin stock to your family. Dig through those old jars and dusty containers. You never know what you'll find. And if you enjoyed this video, if you want more tips on valuable coins, coin roll hunting strategies, and stories that combine history, mystery, and money, hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and drop a comment below telling me if you've ever found anything cool in your change, because around here we believe that fortune favors the curious, and who knows, your next quarter might just make you a millionaire, or your pocket change might just change your life. Now, before you roll your eyes and think this is just another video about some rare coin nonsense, let me hit you with this. A 1999 D Connecticut quarter recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yep. That's one coin. 25 cents. Worth more than a Lembo, a beach house, and all the Hot Pockets in your local Walmart freezer section combined. And here's the kicker: you could have one right now in your sock drawer or hiding under your car seat. So stick with me for the next 40 minutes and I'll break it all down: how it happened, why it's worth so much, what you need to look for, and how to tell if you're sitting on a small fortune. And hey, if you enjoy discovering how everyday coins can turn into stacks of cash, smash that subscribe button, because I've got more coin hunting tips coming that'll make you see nickels and dimes in a whole new light. Alright, let's dive into the Connecticut coin that's got the whole numismatic world talking. So here's where it all starts. Back in 1999, the United States Mint launched the 50 state quarters program. Remember those? A new state on the back of the quarter every few months. People went nuts for them. Coin albums flew off shelves. Everyone from your grandma to your 6th grade teacher was collecting them, and now Connecticut's quarter was one of the first 10 in the series. And honestly, it was one of the prettiest. On the back, it features the famous charter oak tree, a historic symbol from the 1600s that's all about independence and rebellion. The coin was minted in Denver, which is what the D mint mark stands for. Seems like a regular old quarter, right? But here's where things get interesting. Out of the hundreds of millions of Connecticut quarters minted, just a few have what collectors call a rare striking error. These are coins that were misprinted in some subtle or not so subtle way. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, extra metal, wrong planchets. In the case of this legendary $1 million Connecticut quarter, it was a combination of a few things. It was struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning the blank piece of metal wasn't even supposed to be for a quarter. It had a partial collar error, making the coin appear slightly misaligned and thicker than normal, and on top of that, it had A strong double die, especially noticeable in the word Connecticut and the oak tree's intricate branches, put those together, and what you've got is a coin that collectors will go to war over. One of these bad boys was graded by a top-tier coin grading company as MS-67, that's Mint State 67, nearly flawless, and went on to sell for $1.5 million at a private auction. It's not just about rarity. It's about condition. A regular 1999D Connecticut quarter you pull from a coffee can is worth, well, 25 cents, but if that coin has a rare error and it's in pristine condition, no scratches, no wear, still shiny like it just rolled off the minting press, then you're in business. It's like owning a classic Mustang that was never driven. Rare is good. Rare and clean? That's the jackpot. Professional collectors and investors look for coins that are both unique and almost perfect. That's what creates real value, and it's not just for show. These coins are seen as tangible assets. Just like gold or stocks. Except way cooler because they fit in your hand. Alright, now, let's get practical. First, make sure it's a 1999D. That's the Denver Mint. Look on the front of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. The back should show that beautiful sprawling tree with its twisting branches and the word Connecticut above it. Look closely with a magnifying glass. Are the letters slightly doubled, especially in Connecticut or the Charter Oak? Even one of these could mean your coin is worth more than lunch money. And if your quarter checks off all of these, you better sit down and start looking for a professional grading service. Grading is how coins get officially valued. You don't just walk into a pawn shop and say, "Hey, this looks rare. Give me $1 million." You need to send it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll analyze every detail: weight, size, strike quality, any errors, and assign it a grade from 1 to 70. If your coin hits MS-65 or above with those rare errors, you're looking at thousands, tens of thousands, and maybe even that $1.5 million dreamed out a couple years ago. I was cleaning out my garage. You know how it goes: dust, screws, 10-year-old batteries that don't work anymore. And then I found an old jar of change. One of those big plastic jugs people throw coins into when they're too lazy to sort them. Not expecting anything. But right there near the bottom was a shiny 1999 Connecticut quarter. It had the D Mint mark. It looked different. Almost thicker than normal. I stared at it for a while. My hands were shaking a little. I took it to a local coin dealer. Turned out, it wasn't the $1 million version. But it was worth a few $100 thanks to a small die clash. The day changed everything for me, and now I check my coins like a hawk. I've got magnifiers, reference guides, even a little coin scale in the kitchen. You never know what you've got until you look. If you find something that looks promising, don't toss it back into your jeans pocket. Handle it by the edges only. No fingerprints. Put it in a soft plastic coin flip or capsule. Do your research before selling. Auction houses, eBay, coin forums, there's a whole network out there. Never settle for the first offer unless it's someone you trust. So there you have it, friends. A plain-looking 1999D Connecticut quarter that turned into a millionaire maker, and you might have one right now. Your junk drawer could be worth more than your 401k. Your couch cushions might be sitting on more than old popcorn kernels. This isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. It's about turning the everyday into the extraordinary. And it's about realizing that sometimes, the biggest treasures are the ones we walk past every single day. If this video opened your eyes even a little, do me a favor, hit that like button, smash subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss another coin worth more than a Corvette. And if you've got a story about a lucky coin find, drop it in the comments. I love hearing about real people striking gold, or in this case, silver nickel alloy.